Oh, hey, you're here.
Have a physical manifestation in this world now,
You're not
finally.
you're not just a voice. It's Michael
I'm
Schumer. Hey, Pape.
El Pape.
Hey, Pop. I like El.
You know what I
It's
just
El
realized is
Pape.
like whenever you post these on TikToks, that's
Mhm.
that's 100% what people are.
It's El Pape,
I'm gonna
everybody.
start throwing my social tags in there, so it's at least a little bit easier to find me.
No, you're El Pape.
El Pape. Oh, I'm gonna get roasted for that one.
Or reported to ICE. Anyway,
Yeah. Oof. Topical.
this yeah. I feel dirty now. Anyway, moving on to Last of Us Season 2, Episode 4. Not Take On Me. It's day one.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by that.
A little bit too. I like the call. I like the call for Take On Me, and then I look at the episode title. I'm like, day one. I mean, it makes sense, but also boring.
Yeah, very boring title. Honestly, like
They're
it's
two,
Jake. You said it. Yes,
two.
you said it last time. You said it was two. You said they were getting their names sucked.
Their
They're like,
titles suck. It's a two. It's a two minus. Maybe it's a two. I don't know. It's
for the
boring.
title, you
It's
mean?
boring. It's a boring title. Like day one's fine. It's just a boring episode title. All right, we're gonna get into it because you might have to go at any point. So we're gonna get
Yes.
into it. What happened in the episode? Josh Peck retells the story of everyone or the Fedra harassing civilians. Did not realize it was Josh Peck at the time.
My buddy caught it when we were watching.
Oh,
He's like,
did he?
dude, that's
Nice.
fucking Josh Peck. And then I didn't. I was like, I don't know, man. And then something he said, literally, he just sounded like. I was like, oh yeah, that's 100% Josh
I
fucking Peck.
I watched it twice, and I watched it again right before the we started airing, and I didn't catch it until I started doing the outline, and I was like, that was Josh. Okay, whatever. I'll have to rewatch it, and then I'm gonna be like, that's super obvious. But the thing is, like, the Josh Peck that I know, and the Josh Peck that you know, and probably most people know, is chubby little kid chubby Josh Peck telling funny jokes. Like that's the Josh Peck we know.
I mean, he's still in this. He's technically telling funny jokes, depending on your perspective. So
Well, not Isaac's perspective, where he tells Barton that they're called voters because they took away their rights, and that's them being mocked. And he
also,
silenced the entire squad.
that line he has to him. I know you're telling the just a really cool commentary. The line he says about "you're thoughtless" or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. I was like, oh, that's so savage.
Oh, I didn't mean it. He's like, of course he didn't. You're thoughtless.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, I feel it. I'm vibing with Isaac, and this kind of,
Oh yeah.
oof, I feel dirty. Is that the episode? Just me feeling dirty a bunch of times?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, we'll see. Well, they get stopped by a bus. A bunch of people come up. Isaac gets out. It's like, we're not going to shoot. We're going to talk to him. He meets Hanrahan. I don't know if that person's from the game.
Yeah, I don't recognize her at all.
He effectively defects to the wolves with Burton telling him make a choice. Throws a bunch of grenades into his old squads. Shuts the truck, killing them all. And then that's when he turns to Burton. It's time to make a choice. And I'm like, that's a freaking crazy cold open.
Mm-hmm.
11 years later, we're not going necessarily chronicle order for what happened in the television show or in the episode. 11 years later, Isaac is now the leader. He's interrogating a Seraphite, who he calls Scar, with a heated pan, talking about how copper pans are great for cooking, but not really great for, torture. Seraphite's very much like, F you, I'm not going to tell you anything. You guys are going to lose. And when he goes to grab the pan, he holds out his hand. Isaac realizing that he would rather get tortured than tell the truth, he shoots him.
Such an incredible scene. I was like, damn. When he's like,
And
again,
then
I don't give a fuck.
the description says Burton says it, but I thought it was Manny. One of them said Scars fucking deserved it, which is very much the mindset in the
I
game.
didn't catch this, but that's actually the kid from the beginning of the episode.
Yep. I didn't catch it either, but I thought it was Manny at first.
Oh yeah, the darker hair threw me off for sure.
So I was like, my thought was Manny, and then the description said it was Burton. I'm not necessarily convinced, but I mean, it would make sense episodically if that was. Ellie and Dina search Seattle. Dina finds a pregnancy test in her search, takes said pregnancy test. Ellie attempts to wake up the neighborhood with her failed opening of a tank latch. They find a wolf building way up high on a hill on via satellite for a television studio. Ellie is like, let's go. Dina's like, think about it for a second. Realized they're on the hill. It's very obvious. They probably have, lots of defenses and they'll probably see them coming. Let's wait at night. We're going to camp out here at a music store. Ellie finds a guitar, starts to play, and sings the song Take On Me. Dina walks in and they continue to play. Very much resembling the scene from the game, which is probably one of, if not the most famous scene from the game, outside of Joel's death.
I don't know if it's a very yeah, I have personal takes on that, but
It's a memorable scene from the games that most people I think had in mind. Like, I want to see this.
Did you know it's actually optional?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always thought that was crazy. Yeah. Like I loved exploring the world, but I found out afterwards that that's entirely missable, which is wild.
Yeah, very much missable, and also so is Dina's and Ellie's whole romance, because a lot of it is during the gameplay. At night, they go to the television station. They find wolves brutally killed with arrows. Dina throws up after the sight. Inside the station, they find more wolves hanging in the air. Wolves arrive on scene and reacting to, seeing their comrades all being hung. And they eventually surround Ellie and Dina. Ellie is in a position where she has to confront one of the soldiers. Dina ends up shooting her, shoots the window, and they escape. And as they're escaping, they run into a subway where the group of wolves follow. Inside the subway, a mass amount of affected arrive in the area, much resembling the subway scene in the game. Dina and Ellie go on a subway and into the up top the train, into the train, and pretty much up and around, escaping the mass amounts of affected and clickers. But while escaping through a gate, Dina gets stuck. Ellie, deciding to block the clicker bite or infected bite, gets bit herself. They escape the subway, arrive at the theater. Dina pulls out her gun with the intentions of shooting her. Ellie pleads, saying, I'm fine, I'm immune. Barters with her. He's like, I'm going to go sit over there. I'm going to fall asleep and I'm going to wake up just fine. When Ellie wakes up, Dina confesses that she's pregnant. The two have sex. The two overhear the chatter at the hospital. Ellie suggests that Dina stays behind, and Dina's like, we're in this together. And that is where the episode ends. Michael, did I miss anything?
I think you got it all. I can't think of anything substantial you missed. Yeah, no, I think you got it on point, my man.
Good. There's a lot of details in there. There's a lot of details we could talk about. Of course. This is one of those shows that you could probably spend hours dissecting each scene, panel by panel, because there's just so much in the background, so much in the environment, and also just so many different relationship dynamics that is just on play. So we're gonna get into it. 5 questions to appease Michael. Yeah, that is the name. It might be the name for every review. 5 questions to appease Michael. Michael, are you appeased?
We shall see. If it's 5, I'm trying to think of the straight to jail meme, whatever. 4, straight to jail. 6, straight to jail. 5, surprisingly, straight to jail. It's I think it's like an old Parks and Rec. It's like a Fred Armisen bit. Whatever. It's if you know, you know.
I don't know.
I'll leave it at that.
I don't know. Maybe it's We're Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
It could be that. I don't know where I've seen it before, but it's just...
I feel like it's that, because that's a show that I haven't watched, and yes, I know I should watch it. I've been told that many, many times. You're going to look it up. 5.
It's Parks and Rec. Sorry.
It is Parks and Rec?
Yeah, I'll send it to you here.
Okay. Okay. Okay, now I'm disappointed in myself. Anyway, 5 questions apiece. Michael, we got Isaac lore. I'm going to start here. We got Isaac lore. My question for you is, how much Isaac lore do we want? Do we
I was gonna ask you. This is actually one of my
more or
questions.
less than the Casey Queen herself?
I want more. I honestly, Isaac. So I don't think this is gonna be a spoiler, but if it is, cut out the next 10 seconds. Isaac's in the game. For those that don't know, he is in the game,
Mm-hmm.
but he doesn't have a very prominent role.
Not at all.
However, what I have found, just with my deep dive into this game and just absolutely wanting to know everything I possibly can, is he was supposed to have a lot more prominent of a role,
He
like
was.
substantially. So I think this is the creator's attempt to be like, hey, I can actually fucking do this now
Mm-hmm.
because I have time. Especially now that they are definitely getting a season 3.
He definitely was like cut later on because it was surprising that Jeffrey Wright got a role for such
I
a.
was so happy, and he just eats this whole fucking scene.
He does. He's a great actor, and I'm happy that he is back in the show. It makes sense. This is a very like well thought out show, and I mean Pedro Pascal is like the lead or was the lead, and he's huge in Hollywood right now. I really like Jeffrey Wright. I really like Isaac. I really wish we had more in the game. It's surprising that Jeffrey Wright got even like hired to do that role just because Isaac in the game just he wasn't that prominent. I think he's more prominent as the idea. It's very much in the same way that the Seraphite's prophet is like big in the idea.
I really
And
wonder if we'll see more of that. That's what I want to know.
me too. And I think we're getting to see more of Isaac. We're getting to understand him more because I think if we understand Isaac more, we understand the wolves' goals and their whole conflict with the Seraphites. So I personally want all of the Isaac. I mean, Jeffrey Wright's just great. So yeah, how much Isaac? We got a lot. We can talk about Isaac lore a little bit.
Yeah, I really like, well, because there was some stuff in the game, but it was very minimal. And like, I remember seeing I actually saw kind of a sidebar. The friend I watched the episode with, he actually ended up picking up part 2 on Steam, and he was playing it yesterday, which is hilarious because he doesn't do horror games. So
Mm-hmm.
I was just laughing hysterically through almost the entirety of that play session. Sorry, Dave. But I remember there's a point early on in the game, but we haven't gotten there yet, where you're exploring Seattle and you find a note about Isaac and like him,
Mm-hmm.
a couple notes, and like one of them implying that he betrayed, and I think it must have been Fedra soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we gotta actually see that happen,
Yeah.
like what the context was, um, among other things. So, but yeah, he's just this domineering presence,
Mm-hmm.
and just so fucking cold with that make your choice line, or or just him doing the cooking story, or the your thought, just every fucking line he just eats, he just owns it. He could be like, this could be the, that's what I think I respect about Jeffrey Wright as an actor. He doesn't really seem like the type to phone it in. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Like every time you see him on stage or on live, he eats it up. So
He's like a character who, he's like an actor who like breathes as this character. Like he very much just embodies that character fully. I really enjoyed the performance. I didn't think there was like a whole lot to eat, at least in the first part where they're in the truck. But the little bits that he got to eat, he fucking ate. Like his voice immediately when he started talking, I was like, holy shit, I didn't realize Isaac was in here. I didn't realize this was an Isaac scene. I just heard the
yeah,
voice. I'm like, all right. He's demanding presence, and he got it. He got the presence of everyone there. Everyone shut the f up. I really, I like the cooking like lines of
oh
him
yeah,
just comparing like the different pans and be like, I have the whole set. I dreamed of having this whole set. You know, the perks of an apocalypse. I'm like, I just want to hear Isaac talk
yeah.
about
He
like,
can. There's a lot of like sub shows that can come out. What was the show we said we could watch an entire show about? Oh, like the Council in
oh
Jackson.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
As fucked up as it is, that's a show about him just casually torturing people and telling his backstory. I mean, it's
Can we,
Jeffrey Wright. I would watch it. I'm not saying I agree with the man, but I'm
can
not
we,
gonna say he isn't
we
captivating.
get like the good Parks and Rec show of put in Parks and Rec. I made this reference already, but the Parks and Rec, like, Department of Jackson, and then
Department of Jackson.
and then getting the Parks and Rec Department of Seattle, or like the Wolves territory. It would be interesting. Like, I think it would be an interesting show, at least like a mini series, even if it's not that serious.
Very like Better Call Saul coded. I'm for it. I'm for
Mhm.
it.
Oh wait, I'm trying to think. No, Wolves Pet Control. It'd be so cute until you realize
Yeah.
Ellie's coming.
Yeah.
All right,
I did like
we're getting into spoilers a
we're
little
getting
bit.
out of the way. That's all right.
She kills a dog, people.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, but yeah.
we'll
I
leave
feel
it at
dirty
that.
now.
But yeah, I don't know. I think one of my questions was going to be like what your thoughts were on uh Jeffrey Wright and getting to see more eyes. Like, I'm personally a huge fan.
Oh yeah,
And I hope we get to see more, honestly.
I am just hoping to see more scenes. I'm guessing this is going to be the torture scene that's similar to the game that's a little bit further ahead. I'm guessing that that's going to be like that moments. But I'm excited to just see more of him. I think he's going to be more of a season 3 presence when we move into more of that storyline. I will leave it at that. For those who know, you know. But yeah, I'm just excited to see more Isaac. I didn't think we were gonna see him this early, and I'm happy that we did. And I'm happy that we're getting more of that balanced look at the 3 different groups that were in Seattle.
I was gonna say that's been one huge pro about this show's approach. You actually
Mhm.
get to really like understand.
And we're able to, because we're seeing more perspectives. We're not just getting game perspective, which is what they did in the show
Hmm.
from season 1. They're like, in the game, you have to be in the character's perspective. Like, you can't really go elsewhere. You have to, like, you're experiencing what your character is experiencing. But this is a show of many characters. So we're able to see Isaac lore without being a character. We're able to see these other things without our characters needing to be there. And there's a perk in that
Absolutely.
approach. I really want to ask this question, but I want to save it. If you have one, go.
Oh, I did have one. What was I gonna say here? What did you think about the reordering of events? Like, it's a far cry from how this part plays out in the game.
As in, like,
Because you get the television station.
uh huh.
I don't even think that happened. No, that did happen
That was day
before they
one.
got
That
to
was
the
day
theater.
one. It was the
But
end of day one.
but just how they got there, like,
Yeah.
and the fact that like the incentive to get there was very different.
I thought it worked. I think in the game, you're just exploring. You're going from the bank scene. We're not getting the bank scene more likely. We're getting
Was there really even a scene? I mean, you get the shotgun, I
no, but it
think,
was really cool. Like the idea of somebody trying to rob a bank
during the infection, and then
during the infection, and then they all die at the end because of it. It's like, well, look, you could have all this money. It's like, well, what the fuck are you going to do with millions upon millions of dollar bills? It's like, you're in the
that are literally
apocalypse.
useless. Yeah.
They don't do shit.
Oh,
Um,
I gotta plug in here because apparently my battery's dying, so I'm gonna look like a fucking.
we
Okay,
got,
it's okay.
yeah, we got the
We're
cord.
matching. Oh, twinning, dude.
We're twinning.
So cute.
Now you need a ponytail, so you can twin some more.
No, that's not happening. I do like a
A
front
little.
tail.
Yeah, maybe.
A little like. Nah, it doesn't really work. I'm just gonna go back.
But the reordering of events, I thought it was fine. Like, it worked. I didn't expect them to have much of a different order. I liked how they're just like, oh, we're going to camp here rather than explore. I thought it worked. We got this one scene that I think everybody wanted to see. Like, I would rather have the record store rather than like.
Ooh, okay, keep going. I remember there's a question that kind of follows up with that question relating to the record store scene.
So yeah, but I'll ask my question that comes with this.
Mm-hmm.
Take on Me. Is this a good replacement for the
Well,
Pearl
she does
Jam
sing
song?
it. She does sing it in the game too.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, That's what my question was going to be is because in the game how that plays out is she starts playing Future Days.
Yep.
And then as soon as Dina walks in, she instantly stops. Like it's such
Hmm.
like a precious moment to her.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What were you playing?" And she's like, nothing." And she's like, "Well, it sounded nice." And Ellie gets kind of uncomfortable, and then she's like, "Yeah, I'll play you this song." And then she put her "Take On Me." I don't know. Like,
Is that how it worked in the game?
mhm. I'm about
Oh, right.
95% because like it's that's like one thing I'm really surprised by is that motif of Future Days like throughout the
Hmm.
game. I'm surprised they haven't kept that
I'm surprised
the
that they
same.
didn't. I'm surprised they didn't keep it the same. I'm surprised that they didn't replace it. But I don't mind Take On Me here. I don't
Mm-hmm.
mind the scene. I don't. I'm like it works. It's about their romance. I don't hate it. I don't like love it. I'm not like, yeah, this is the best choice. To me, I thought it was like it's a little cliche.
Mm-hmm.
I would I honestly would much prefer a song that we weren't really familiar with.
Well, especially because "Take on Me" was already prominent in the first season. I think
Yeah.
that's one good that's one good criticism that could be kind of levied. It was in all the trailers. It was in the episode with
Hmm.
her and fuck, what's the character's name? Riley. That's so sad. I can't
Yeah.
remember. Whatever. But going with that, like, okay, so I'm gonna bounce off your question, off this question into my question. How do you feel about the changes they've made to Dina and Ellie's relationship?
That was my next question too.
Hey, we're the same fucking. I
Nice.
think we have honestly half the time we do this, it's like we have like one or two questions that are different, but the rest are always like parody.
It's almost like we have ADHD mind and we just link
Yeah,
together.
we catch the same,
Hmm.
same strays.
It's it's different. In the games, it's you kind of have a romance right away, and it's like a romance that was building off screen, and then on screen they were just kind of like a beginning couple, and
Mm,
then like in the little bits where you get to explore, you get to see kind of like how their relationship is, and I really like discovering that as a player, but from a TV show perspective, I kind of like the way they did it here, and I like how we got to see, like we know that they're they're friends. We get to hear about how they're friends. We get to see their friendship, the back and forth. But I also really like this story about how like Dina was explaining like she was kind of always told you like boys, and I like how she just explained it, even though if it was like a little on the nose. It does
mm,
answer a question of like is was Dina always gay? Was she always bi? Like, where does Dina stand? Because we never really got that answered a whole lot in the game. We got like an idea, but we didn't really get it answered. And I feel like that kind of answered one of my questions of like, where was
what's her
Dina?
deal?
Yeah, what's her deal?
What's Dina's deal?
And like her deal was she was always told to like boys, and she just like with her and Jesse, it just like it didn't feel right. Whereas like we're with Ellie, she feels a little bit differently. And so I kind of like seeing that romance blossom into that. It goes from like a great friendship into the romance, especially at the part of like Ellie had her secret. She, didn't share Dina that secret. And that that was different in the games. Games there were spores. Oh, you got the
Clearly
spores in you,
immune, yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like you're fine. You're not turning. It's like, yep. Whereas this, it's like she saw Ellie get bit, and it turned into, which leads to my question. Dina pulls a gun on Ellie and was
Hmm.
ready to shoot Ellie. So my two question is, if Ellie was actually infected, would Dina actually be able to shoot her?
I think
And
she would.
is Dina like Joel in this sense?
You're gonna have to elaborate on the second part, but I think she would if she had. I don't think she would look forward to it, but I also think she just trusts Ellie. When Ellie says, "I'm immune," she's like, "Okay, I'll give you up until you prove that you're not." And I think like, and I'm sure that would be the case in most people's lives. They'd be like,
Mm-hmm.
"I'll let you prove you're, innocent until proven guilty," kind of thing. So like, she's like, "Yeah, no shaking." Before, well, actually, so what do you mean by the Joel thing?
So the Joel thing is there's the whole lingering question, which I'm pretty sure in the flashback where we go to the science museum, we're gonna get the answer to what happened to Eugene.
Yeah.
That's my prediction. Episode 6, it's going to be it. Like I don't have much information that this is going to happen here, but this is my guess. It's episode 6. We're going to get that flashback. We're going to get Joel straight up killing Eugene as Eugene's trying to plead and barter his way to
Dude,
life.
I just had a fucking it just hit me with how I think the rest of the show is gonna this season's gonna go.
So like I think we're going to get a flashback scene of just Joel straight up like killing Eugene without mercy, without hesitation. And I think Dina was like Joel going to do that to Ellie. And I think she was about to.
I think real quick, I just have a random prediction. I just had a brain blast, and I need to get it out of my ADHD brain. Here's what I think we got. Here's what I think the structure for the next few episodes.
Go for it.
Next episode, so episode 5, right?
Yep.
Yeah, episode 5.
3 episodes left.
3 episodes left. So episode 5 is gonna be, God, I don't want to spoil this. I'm trying very carefully. I'll just hit. Episode 5 will be Ellie's the chase scene. That's what I'll see. Ellie's chase scene. With a prominent character. That's all I'll say.
Ooh, hospital.
And then yes, the hospital.
That's not
and
spoiling.
It's not spoiling.
Okay.
It's such like I do not want to spoil anything for anybody if I can help it because it's such a powerful story.
Hospital
I think episode
scene?
6 is going to be every single because in the game there's all the flashbacks are set like throughout. We haven't gotten a single one yet.
Yeah.
I think episode 6 is going to be that full story of what happens, and then I think episode 7 will be
Day 3?
Yeah, day 3. So I think episode 5 would be day 2. Episode 6 will be a bunch of flashbacks, bunch of context.
And they're doing it like the video games.
Yeah, and then episode 7. And then I do think this is gonna. I think the show will be part 2 will be done with Endless. Based off how I think things are going, I do think season 3 will be the ending of part 2. I don't think they're gonna do 3 seasons for part 2, which I like. I think 2 seasons is good. I think 3 would be really stretching it. I would be
I want
very
3
cool.
seasons.
I want 3 seasons too, but I don't want it to come at the cost of the story being lesser. And I think it would be. Unfortunately, I wish there was. They could stretch it out, but
here's my counter. Here's my counter to that. Season 2 is all about getting Abby, right?
Yeah.
Season 3 is going to be the later story. Season 4 is going to be an expansion of the late acts of part 2. And I think we're going to get a finale to the series, whereas for part 2 is the finale for the game. And of course, like the finale for the series is going to more or less do what part 2 did anyway. But I think it's going to end on a more significant or more of a like a finale note. We're gonna get like a sense of like where these characters go at the end. I think we get season 4. I really do. But
the part of me that says HBO is calling the shots says you're probably right, but the part of me that says Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin would walk and thus like delegitimize the rest of the season.
Well, I think season 3 is going to be short. I don't think it's going to be super long. And I don't think season 4 is going to be super long. And I think that's how they're going to do it. I think they're going to tell their story. I think they're going to tell as many episodes as needed. Maybe season 3 is just a split of... maybe season 3 is a split and it's a longer season.
5 and 5 kind of thing?
Maybe like a 6 and a 5. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it's a longer season and they just kind of split the stories in that season 3.
God,
but
they did that with House of the Dragon. I did not fucking like that at all.
I didn't either. So we'll see. We get in 7 episodes. We got 9 episodes before. I trust them at this point. Like whatever they do, I'm excited for it.
Unless big brain take here.
Part 3 comes out and they backtrack.
Part 3 comes out and they're like, we're doing it. They're like, we just had to add a few months onto the timeline here. They'll have the trailer. We're gonna make lots of money here.
Money.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think. I will say, unfortunately, I do think, as much as I love The Last of Us for its artistic integrity, I do think Naughty Dog, Sony, and HBO are looking at the cash cow, and they're like, we're gonna milk this fucker till it's literally nothing but flesh on.
I don't know about Naughty Dog, but Sony for sure, HBO for sure. They're just like, yeah, let's try to milk it as much. I can see Drunkman just being like, no, we're gonna stick to the story. That's why it's great. We're not gonna push out more unless like, because I feel like if they were gonna milk it, they would have milked it already, and we would have got Last of Us 7 coming out tomorrow.
I don't think Naughty Dog has production. Also, I did hear. I think it might have been debunked, but I thought I saw a rumor online that said, that Naughty Dog has 3 games in active production right now. Allegedly, who knows how fucking true that is?
I heard the rumor of 2. We obviously know of 1.
They usually do, from what I've seen about their structure. I think I texted you that long ass fucking thread about how they usually do like 1 and like they have 2 running, but it sounds like they might have 3 running concurrently, which would track because I was surprised they would dedicate a whole team to factions, and that ended up getting nixed.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts, but. Going with that, and plus that documentary where Neil said, I think there's one more story to tell on this ride.
There really
We don't
is.
know when that was filmed. We do not know when that was filmed.
True.
We know he said it, but we don't know when it was filmed.
There's definitely another story, but we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. Yeah. This is end of season 2 talk.
And it might be end of season 3 talk, honestly.
Yeah.
But this does lead me. This is a question I was going to ask before. Do you like, so they really changed up Ellie's reaction to Dina's pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to spoil the game. This kind of maybe a big spoiler, but we'll see. But honestly, you guys already know that she's pregnant in the game. Ellie is not fucking happy about this.
Yeah.
She's not even remotely happy. It's like legitimate pissed the fuck off. Like, how the hell couldn't she tell me? She was legitimately furious, and there's kind of like a definite tension between the two of them.
Yeah, I think it works for the game. I don't think it would have worked here.
Yeah, I don't think it would have either.
I don't think they would have enough time without it feeling like cable television, which is why I'm really happy that Craig Mazin is here and just being like, yeah, let's cut that tension out, because it would be tension for tension's sake rather than it's actually like a really good part of their relationship build up.
I'm just gonna ask you, this is really not this, and do you think they bring him into the writers' room for a part 3 or any future Naughty Dog games? It seems like he and Neil really fucking get along.
Why wouldn't you?
I mean, like, if you have that much creative synergy, you'd be like, even if he's not an active part, be like, hey, we're making this game, we're really struggling with this, and like Craig just fucking knows what, like, it's like he and Neil have like the early 2 halves of one brain cell, just like off like each other.
I am sure Neil has brought up like, hey, how would you end this? I'm sure he's brought it up because like that's like writers, creative minds, they do that. Like, what would be your take? Or like, hey, here's my take. What are your thoughts on it? Like, they do that. Supernatural. They did that with Eric Kripke. Like, hey, this is how I wrote it. What would you do here? What would you differently? He's like, well, it's not what I would do, but like I do like the ending for whatever reason.
On a side note, that show, I don't know if you've ever heard about it, but we're getting off topic here, but this is like actually kind of story relevant going here. Or not story relevant, but I think you'll find it interesting. I don't know if you heard about how the series was originally supposed to end. Like
season 5.
No, not originally. Like the last, like season 15 or whatever the hell they were on. So my wife loves Super.
Yes,
my wife,
she does. Yes, she does. She's mad that I watched the Scooby-Doo episode without watching the rest of Supernatural.
Yeah. But that being said, so my wife was watching it, and I know it kind of ended on like it was a really weird note, but it was filmed during COVID. Apparently, what they were gonna do was COVID really fucked them, dude. Like, I felt like it's like actually like I don't care for the show, but I feel so bad for like the writers and the fans because it was gonna be like every fucking actor from the series was gonna like show up and have this big party at the end. They were gonna have what's the Kansas playing Carry On Wayward Son by Kansas
cool.
Was gonna literally playing, and like it sounded incredible, and then they did not get that at all. It was like a very not great.
They should do it with Last of Us, and all the dead characters come back as infected.
Yeah. Oh,
You just imagine Pedro Pascal.
oh, he would own it.
He
He'd still
would.
be the most
He'd be
charming
a,
person.
probably. Probably. All
But
right.
so yeah,
Oh,
so you liked the change. I wasn't. I'm not
it
sure.
works.
I agree. I think you're right that it would have been it made the show feel very soap opera-y.
Yeah.
But I do think it kind of her being so. It's what I realized. I think I have one grievance with the season 2 so far,
Mm-hmm.
and they have 3 episodes to turn it around. And I think you understand where I'm coming from when I say this. But it's too happy, shockingly. But there's a lot more
Yeah.
positivity
Mm-hmm.
in the show, like or in the game. I've been watching it when I was watching my friend play. I realized, God, it's oppressive from the beginning. Just
Mm-hmm.
this on crushing darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And here it's like, oh, we have. I mean, I do love the line that Ellie says about I'm gonna be a dad, but there's not even a semblance of that in the game. It's anger and despair and resentment,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not sure how I feel about that because I feel like I don't know.
I think the game goes a little bit deeper, and I think the game has time to go deeper in a lot of these
Mm-hmm.
emotions, and we get and we live through the violence where like they haven't really had to be violent a whole lot other than the one was it the one or two people they had to kill. Like they
Mm-hmm.
haven't had to be violent, other than the moment of Joel's death. It's rather been, I wouldn't say like happy with like the infected attack, but like there hasn't been a whole lot of violence for them to like shape and turn. And I don't think it gets, I guess episode 6 is probably going to be the happy episode, but I don't think we're going to leave season 2 with the same feel, if that makes sense.
I hope you're right. It's just we'll see. I'm very nervous about how they're gonna capture that element because I do
Mhm.
think that's such a like important part about the
Also,
show.
no Tommy.
No Tommy. That's a
And I don't know
huge
if it's a
change.
spoiler for later on. Just like in the game, there's a Tommy presence. So
Yeah.
far, there isn't. I don't know if he comes or doesn't come, but there is a
Mhm.
Tommy presence in Seattle. Uh, all right. I have one question that's a little political. Their romance in the game, I feel like, is one of those things that's not really in your face. It's just like, yep, these are the characters. They're falling in love. That's it.
Mhm.
Whereas the show is slightly more in your face. And I say slightly as in like you see the rainbows in Seattle, and I've been to a pride parade in Seattle. They go fucking nuts. It's a good time.
They go nuts.
They go nuts. It's a good time. Pride, like Seattle Pride, you guys, you do it well. But you see the pride flags, and you get Dina like coming out story. My question is, for those who like to get in political side of this, is it too woke?
That's a loaded question.
It
Uh,
is. It
as
is.
somebody, as somebody that burgeon like a small starting trying to start a TikTok, I'm a little scared, but I'm gonna say maybe a little, not a lot, but it definitely is kind of like I think if they okay, well, so okay, to their credit, that part, the pride flag part, is in the game. There is a part, there's like a
I'm
whole story
sure.
to go into,
I'm sure.
but it's not that big. And I did like the jokes they made about it, but I
Mm,
get it's very like I think okay, maybe what it is like it's very try hardish. You know what I mean?
yeah, a little
You
bit.
know, like I'm not like, and I have no disrespect for the characters. I love Ellie and Dina. They're probably like some of my
Mm,
favorite like banter in the series. But we already know where the show stands. We've already had
mm.
Bill and Ted. Why am I fucking blanking on his name?
Bill and
Uh,
Frank.
Thank you, Bill and Frank. We've already had Ellie and Riley. Now we have Ellie and Dina.
Mm.
It's it's like
Ellie and
no,
Kate.
like we know where the huh?
Ellie and Kate, the
I thought it
horrible
was it
supervisor.
Cat? Oh, yeah, Kate. One of the
Uh,
two. Yeah,
it might have been Cat.
something like that. But we already know where the. I guess where my thing is like we already know where the show stands. Like they, I don't care. It doesn't
Mm,
bother me at all. But if I don't know. It's so tough because like it's the part where I'm like I keep coming back to is it's in the game. If it wasn't in the game, then I'd be like, oh, okay, yes, I
I
understand. But because it's in the game, I can kind of like be like, all right,
I'm
whatever.
I'm sure there's fuel for those to make fun of it. I'm sure that they're like, gonna be a dad. They're gonna make fun of it. I'm sure they're gonna make fun. Like, I'm sure someone's gonna complain that it's too woke. I
Oh,
think
100%. I don't think this show's for people that think shit's woke though. So
that's fair. That is more than fair. I think it's one of those. I noticed that like it's a little bit more in the front. It's more front and center where like Dean and Ellie's romance, like it's a big part of the game, but like the fact that they're gay isn't like a thing that is overly talked about.
I
Whereas
think
like this
that's
is
you hit it right on the head there.
yeah.
Like what I don't like about what I like about Ellie and Dina is them as characters, and I love their relationship as human beings. I
Yeah.
don't care if they could be like, Dina could be like not actually this wouldn't work, but it could be Dina as a dude and Ellie as still a woman, whatever. It wouldn't matter. It's just that they have such good chemistry as characters.
Mm-hmm. Dina
Um,
is like goofy like Ellie, but like
yes,
in the version of the game, Dina still has her innocence where like Ellie kind of lost that. So
yeah,
Ellie becomes like that, you know, that she becomes more hollow and becomes more Joel like, and Dina kind of becomes that Ellie, and you get that like that banter, and it's like more of a flirty friend banter that
hmm
like you get to see like the romance and the cute little nods, or like Dina be like you're cute, or like you're a badass. And then in the show, it's a little more on the nose, like it's a little
yeah. I
bit
think
more in
you're
front of
when you
you.
brought up like the part where they're like, oh yeah, I realized they like girls and boys. It was like I think where I was like, in my opinion, I'm like, what point does that serve? Because I still like Dina. I don't care if Dina's she can be whatever she wants to be. It
Yeah,
doesn't. It literally like I mean I guess good for representation if anything. But as far as like, does it affect my opinion of the character? Not
my
really at all.
my
I guess.
question is, if this was a real life conversation, I wouldn't know. I'm not a gay man. Never had to deal with, never had to have that coming out moment. So I wouldn't know. But my
Mm,
question is like in real life, is this how this conversation would go? Or
mm.
is this more of a TV show conversation? I think it's a
That's a good
mixture
point.
of both. I think it's a mixture of both. I think like sometimes you just have to talk about the subject, and there's nothing wrong with talking about the subject. But
Mm,
sometimes and like we have dealt with it in our society where we get a little too on nose with like the messaging of inclusion, which
mm.
not bad messaging, but it's
The problem is that
ingenuine.
it can feel very
This,
very
yeah,
insincere and very okay, okay, sure.
and
Instead of you being like, yeah, hell yeah, like totally with these guys.
this writing just it feels like whoever wrote this, it kind of comes across as like, oh yeah, we're just gonna make it a point to the casual audience that they're gay lovers, and that's fine with like that, but it just feels like you could have done it a little bit better in a way
What
that's
it
like very like obvious, but like you don't have that on the nose dialogue where it's like, is this
It's very obtuse, and like considering the
Mhm.
show had Bill and Frank, who in my opinion had a
That
fantastic,
was amazing episode.
beautifully written. That's where I'm like, I think that's where the disappointment is. It's not that like I don't care about the representation and like that they had the
Hmm.
conversation, but it was felt just very like shoehorned in there instead of like thoughtful
Yeah,
to be like, what like it's
and they
been maybe just because the audience who were like, okay, it's very clear that Dina.
and we never get something like this in the game where it's like
That
a little
yeah,
bit
that's
more
the
on
other
the
thing.
nose.
Yeah. So I think yeah, it's not. I wouldn't say it's too woke. I just think I think I'm disappointed at how they did it. Not because they did it, but because I feel like they could have done it better.
Yeah,
How they
and
could have, I don't know. I'm a critic, so I'm the easiest job in the world. I just could have sit and
let's put it in dem ratings. It was a 3 line and a 5 show. It's
yes,
it's it's
absolutely.
it's a good line. It's fine. It does its job. It does its message. But it's a 3 line. It's one of the worst like bits of dialogue in probably the whole show. It's not awful, but I'm like it's not like too woke, but it's like it's just a little on the nose, and I'm like, it could have been done better.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the subway. I
Such
think
a
I've asked
silly.
this. I think we've asked this before. Do we like mass infected more than just like a several?
Fuck yeah, dude. It's so tight. Like honestly, okay, this is what I was gonna say at the top of the episode. last season, everybody bitched there wasn't enough infected.
Oh,
This season, like, well, we'll give you fucking infected.
yeah.
Oh, we'll give them to you. We'll give you hordes. We'll give you so many you don't know what to
I'm
do
gonna,
with.
I'm gonna re-ask this question with the
Okay.
subway scene. Is The Last of Us overcompensating with the amount of affected that they're putting on screen? And
Not possible.
I think they are. I think they are. I think
Not
they're
possible.
overcompensating just a little bit.
I think. Wait, hear me out. Hear me. I'm a counterpoint to this.
Okay.
I can see your argument, but if you think about it from a logical perspective, it makes sense.
It makes sense.
They're in a city. It's a highly dense area. It's not like all the infected were just like, oh, I guess we'll just die then.
Do you know?
They-
Okay. This is why I don't like it as much.
Okay, hit me.
This episode did a really good job of making me feel like I'm playing the game because like it did a lot of those scenes very, very well. The TV station scene where, you know, they arrive, they see all the dead Seraphite or the dead wolves because of the Seraphites or what we assumed as the Seraphites, and the wolves come in. It made me feel like the game again, like that. Oh shit! Like oh shoot, we're instead of just walking around, it's oh no, we have to go in that hiding, and it made me feel like the game, and it reminded me of the scene in the game and how to do it, and it's like it's cool watching it because like for me, I just murder everybody. I just go through everybody, and I often forget you could just run away. They obviously take out one person, two people, and then they run away. It's like makes sense that they can't literally take on everybody. They're not fucking Rambo here. They're not Joel in a hospital scene trying to save a girl. Like there is some limitations to how much violence you can do. Whereas a video game, there's kind of that fantasy element to it. But I really like the transition. Whereas in the subway scene, we got that transition a little bit, but then it was just all infected. And for me, the game ends there. You running and there's just hordes of infected. So it didn't really change the story one bit. But it would have been cool to have that intimate scene. It's not as intimate with a mass of infected because you're just running for your life hoping for the best. The intimate scene is what in the game we get a lot, which is where it's like you're in the subway, there's clickers all around you, and you have to like sneak and kill one by one or sneak around it. We got a little bit in season 1 and with the museum. I thought that was dope. I want to see more of it. So I'm somewhat disappointed that we didn't get more of that scene, but I'm fine with the mass amounts because I do think it's really cool. I think it's scary as fuck, and it's cool to see. And yes, they are very much overcompensated with the amount of clickers. I kind of love it.
love it.
It's kind of like it's what is it? Malicious compliance.
You're
Like, oh, you want clickers? We'll
we'll
fucking
give you clickers.
It's like when I worked at McDonald's and someone's like, I want extra onions. And when I say I want extra onions, I want extra, extra, extra onions. So I literally would take 2 handfuls and just give
Toss
them.
it on the
And I
fucker.
would give them an onion. And then, of course, they would come back and be like, you gave me 2 onions. Like you said, extra, 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 extra onions. So I just gave you an onion sandwich.
Jake, for what it's worth, I would have eaten that sandwich like nobody's business. I fucking love onion. I would have been like, hell yes, dude. Just like them dripping all
You
over
would
my
hope
face.
so. If you're gonna ask for like a buns
God,
of
I know.
extra, I'm gonna just be like, you know what? It's not my money, and it's not really costing that much. Boom, put it on. I don't know if I have any more questions. I think that's my other question is: did Dina believe Ellie, or did she think she had to shoot her?
I think she was like, I'm gonna pray to God she's not fucking with me.
I think she like after a few hours she like realized, and I think at that point that's in the head canon when she realized that Ellie was telling the truth. She was then thinking the future, like, oh, that's back on, but holy shit, like she doesn't know. She
Yep.
just revealed her secret. I'm going to let it out. I thought it was an interesting, like, but I also thought it was a very human moment.
Also,
it
I
was in the
did think
game too.
I will say, I thought it was really strange that she was like, I'm pregnant. And then they had sex. I was like, what?
There was.
I think there would be a lot more. I'd be like, whoa.
I'm pregnant.
Say what?
Well,
now?
let me check you out just a little bit, Dina. I'm just saying, I had the same thought. Was like,
That's where they played hide the fingers. And
I'm just like, I
Tell
don't
shit
know
up.
if I was Ellie, if someone told me that, like, if my girlfriend told me that she was pregnant with somebody else's child, I don't think my first reaction would to put my hand in that area.
Yeah, I would be like,
Like,
I'd be asking more questions. I'd be like,
not like I'm not saying the writers got it wrong. I'm not saying Ellie's wrong. I'm just that was the first thing I thought of. Was like, oh, okay, okay, go Ellie. Yeah, their sex scene was placed differently. It happened in Jackson under Eugene's farm.
also, I
And
will say they definitely as much. Even though I like that they brought the farm, we got through that part yesterday. My buddy and I.
mm,
And the video game farm is way more fucking bad. It's
yeah,
literally like it's a fucking cartel level like
it
pot
is.
farm. You're like,
It
holy shit.
is.
If you saw this in real life, you'd be like, I'm gonna die because some dude around here is gonna be screaming La Policia and I'm gonna get popped in the fucking face.
Yeah, it was well decked out and hidden too. It was a hidden farm. All right, I think that's the questions I have. Any other thing, Michael?
I'm really curious where they're gonna like every episode. I'm just like, okay, how are you guys gonna do this? Like, I already like,
Mhm.
I won't say anything too much
They're-
about how I think the season's
They're
gonna
gonna
end.
have to cut some things out, Michael. We can't get everything. I didn't get my bank
I don't care.
heist.
That's true.
I don't know why I
care
like
if they
that
cut
scene.
things. I just need like I feel like for the show to land the same way the game does. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to, but I feel like for it to do that, it has to get to that dark place, and I haven't
agree.
quite seen that yet.
Next
That's where
episode,
the
episode
next episode
5,
might be it. That might be the turning point. But
Lakeside Hospital, not Saint. Wait, no, it was not Saint Mary's. Was this like? It was a different. It was like Saint Mary's.
I think it is St. Mary's Hospital.
No, Saint Mary's was. I'm pretty sure Saint Mary's was. It was in Seattle. What was Salt Lake? Either way, like they switched the name, which I thought was interesting. It was Lakeside, not Saint Mary's. I don't know if that means anything, but I think episode 5 is when we get into that dark place, and I think that's the whole point. Is we get to the dark place, and I think we get spores finally. I thought we were getting spores here. Spores are coming.
We haven't. I don't. Okay, if this is a spoiler, you can edit me out.
We're supposed
here,
to get spores.
They haven't shown Shamblers yet, and I'm really disappointed by that, honestly. Really disappointed by that.
Next episode. Next episode.
I hope, man.
I'm
That
saying.
would be the episode where they did it.
Next
That would be
episode.
the episode.
Next episode. I think I'm gonna wait till the next episode before I go. All right, NBC. I think there's only 3 choices. I think my one is
Shimmer. Anyways.
Shimmer, the horse.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. All right. Shimmer's still alive, by the way. Good for him.
Yeah, I noted that. Noted that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to me, it's the Ellie and Dina. Which one? You can do Ellie 1A,
I
Dina
have to give it
1B.
to Ellie because I'm
I
going to
think
be a
it's
dad.
Ellie.
It's the most peak line in this show.
I'm gonna be a dad. Oh,
I'm going to be a dad.
I mean, I feel happy for her, but yeah, it was just like, is that what Ellie would say? It feels very like, it feels corny.
I love it. It was so. I literally just died laughing.
Mhm.
But once I remember Haley had texted me something during the episode that made me laugh. Oh, 1 second. 1 second. Oh, never mind. It was about the what's with all the rainbows line made her laugh.
Oh,
So
what's with all the rainbows? I mean, like they wouldn't
they must have been
know.
a very happy people.
They're just very colorful folks.
Yes.
MVP, you could just say wolves. You could say seraphites, but honestly, it's Isaac just
I
for
was
the
gonna say you
performance.
can't even.
But he's not really a villain at this point at this stage. Like he's presented that way, but he's not like he doesn't. How do I put
He
it?
hasn't fought with our characters yet.
And I almost said something. We're gonna leave it there. Best new character is Isaac as well. I think that's unless we put Josh Peck's character in there.
Honorable mention for sure.
Honorable mention, Josh Peck. I did not recognize you. I will immediately watch that scene afterwards and be like, how did I not recognize you, Josh
He's the
Peck?
voice, man. He's just got like it's something with the delivery. I can't.
He's a more serious actor these days, so I'm not.
He was great in Oppenheimer. He didn't have very much, but just it was cool seeing him show up in there.
He's like a smaller actor, but I think everyone like knows him. He's not. He's kind of a small time.
That's like so peak. Can you imagine that? You get to show up in a bunch of cool shit, have a
Mhm.
few lines, and that's your job, and you're probably making decent amount of money doing it because you're Josh
Probably.
Peck.
I mean,
Like you don't need to be fucking Cillian Murphy. You're just like, yeah,
well,
I'm still gonna be in his movie.
true. All right. Anything else, Pape?
Oh, not much. Shameless plug here. I'm gonna try to be posting some more vids online.
Yeah,
Check me out at
Pixel Loose.
Pixel Loose and TikTok. Yeah. Hopefully,
All
I'm
right.
excited to put some more
I'm looking
content
forward
up
to
there.
it. I need to get more content as well. Maybe through this podcast.
Oh, and drop and give a like and a follow to my man Jake here. Don't
Yes,
evolve me.
please. Very much would appreciate it.
Yeah.
Also
That's all I got.
meet Mr. Meme on the first in the YouTube page. I will wait for whoever can beat him because he usually wins often. All right. Well, thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Jake.
El Papi. All right. Until next week, guys.
Next week.
And hey, we made it. You didn't have to leave.
I didn't have to leave.
Didn't have to
I'm
leave.
looking at my phone intensely right now. I'm waiting for it.
It's gonna happen in 5,
Don't
4,
even say that.
3, 2, 1. Eh?
You already jinxed it. It's gonna happen. That's gonna happen.
I was hoping it would happen in the moment, and I think you would have to respect it.
I would have been so angry, but I would have been like, God damn it.
Are you going to go through the 4 motions of? Have you tried restarting it? Is it plugged in?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
Have you replaced your cache?
Usually it's not end of the world or anything. It's just it always happens the worst fucking time. It can't ever happen. I mean, honestly, if I'm at home, I'm usually already doing something. So yeah, I mean, you know how it goes.
I know. All right, Michael. Thank you.
All right. It was nice being on video with you this time, brother.
Yes, it's nice seeing your face.
I didn't get to tell the audience. I'll tell this to the audience before we go. I was gonna mess with Jake, everybody. Jake ruined the prank. I want that to be made very clear. I came in, I had the camera plugged in, but I turned off my video. I was gonna wait till we started recording, and then I was gonna do Sergeant Dopes and be like, turn it on and be like, surprise, motherfucker! But no, that got squashed.
There's a button where I can undo the screen, and I was really curious.
Tom over here.
I saw that it was off, so I was like, "This is weird. This is different." Pressed it, and here he was. I was like, "Oh, it's Michael."
I thought I did it, so I was really mad. I was like, God damn it, I ruined my prank. So I'm a little bit less miffed by that.
No, it was just me realizing there's something different, and I'm like, "Ooh, a button I can press. It's different than last time," and I pressed it, and here you
Tell me
are.
you have ADHD without telling me you have ADHD.
I just did. All right, thank you, Michael.
All right, later, brother.